All right, welcome to video 10, I think. I guess we're up to 10 in our outfitting the Nissan pickup for work in the woods series. In the last video, we finished up our bumper build and got that installed along with our worn winch and lights and all that kind of stuff. Now, the front of the truck is sitting about 3/4 of an inch lower than it was from factory, and that's just from the added weight from that front winch. Not altogether unexpected, so in this video we're going to install a strut spacer and shackle lift. Now this is probably the most mildly built off-road type vehicle I've ever done in my life, but I suppose you build each vehicle to suit its intended use, and this thing isn't going to be seeing any hardcore off-road trails. It's going to be driving up and down logging roads and some rutted 2-track. And the rutted 2-track is where this vehicle really falls short. My full-size Ram pickup has no problem with that, even though it's factory height and everything. But when you get down in these rutted trails and you drop one of the tires into a rut, the ground clearance on this Frontier is just really low. And it ends up dragging pretty heavily over some places that my other trucks just don't have a problem with. So the spacer lift is about the cheapest, most economical way to achieve a little bit of suspension lift. You leave all the factory components in place and you just put some longer shackles on the rear leaf springs and a spacer underneath the strut tower. And you know, it's not this highly engineered suspension system or anything, but really I think it's going to achieve what we want. It's supposed to also have some leveling associated with it, which means the front's going to be lifted a little bit more than the rear is. And definitely looking for that since the front's a little bit lower now because of that winch. So I've installed these kind of kits before on several vehicles, but never one on a Frontier. So let's open up the box and see what it's going to take. Awful lot of box for just these two components. But really all I expect to see is strut spacers and some extended length shackles here. Got some hardware for the shackles and shackles themselves. Some destructions. And the strut spacers. And some more destructions. Basically the entire contents of the kit. We've got some sleeves and bolts right here, and all this is for the rear shackles. And then we've got our strut spacers here, and basically the factory bolts just go here, and this spacer bolts right to the top, and then you just reinstall the factory strut. So this is supposed to provide 2.5 inches of lift to the front, and these are supposed to provide 1.5 inches of lift in the rear, and that ought to be about perfect for us. I just briefly read through the instructions. The only thing that looked a little surprising to me is that they want you to remove the upper ball joint on the front knuckle. I don't remember where I saw that. So this being a 2019 pickup, it doesn't have a lot of miles on it, and I expect everything to come apart fairly easily, but yeah, let's grab our tools and get to work. Well, obviously this job's made a little bit easier with the lift, but of course this could be done with jack stands and a jack and a driveway as well. But since I got a lift, that's what we're going to use. Okay, I have the rear axle supported with a couple of A-frame jacks, and that'll allow me to remove the bolts for these two shackles and then lower the axle down. There's one. There's two. looks like we're at the limit of the shocks travel there. That's going to be fun to get down. So the driver's side is on, no problem. I'm not going to tighten it up until I have it sitting on the ground at ride height, but the passenger side I've got an issue with. Let me show you what I got going here. So this shackle is hitting the tailpipe severely enough that I can't get the inner shackle on. Now this may just be a problem with this pickup truck. You notice these couple of dents right here? When I bought this truck, it had been rear-ended. The frame was not bent, but these brackets that hold the rear bumper up here, this whole assembly was like, the metal was torn and the bumper was folded down to here, and it had hit the tailpipe. Now, didn't look like the tailpipe had any real damage to it, but clearly something must be bent here. And so what I'm going to do, I'm not going to try and figure it out. I'm just going to cut this right here with a Sawzall, and I have a piece of 2 1/4 inch pipe that I believe is the same diameter that I'll weld in there and hopefully get this tailpipe kind of back up in here, which I assume was more where the factory location was. So just a little hiccup, probably just an issue with this truck, but I'm gonna have to deal with it. All right, look at that. Just happen to have the perfect diameter piece here. This will be no problem to extend this by just a couple of inches. I'm climbing under this truck here, looking at things. See, this exhaust hanger here is basically all the way this way. It's right up against that little bump right here. Same thing with that hanger there. You can see it's pushed forward a ways. And same with that hanger back there. And then the problem is not quite as bad up here. I think I saw one other hanger somewhere up here, but what must have happened is this whole exhaust system, when it got hit right here, the whole exhaust system must have folded forward some. And I assume, you know, any place where there's bends like this is probably bent a little bit here. And, you know, this probably bent a little here. I don't have any exhaust leaks or anything anywhere, but that's probably what's going on with this truck. Now, an obvious solution to this might be to go with a catback exhaust, but you know, going with the stainless one's pretty pricey. I don't really see a big reason to do it. There's certainly no performance gains to be had with the exhaust system on this stock V6 pickup. So we're just going to do this. We're going to weld this piece in here, extend it by 2 3/4 inches, and then should be all good to go. Okay, my little exhaust pipe extension is tacked into place there, and I've got the pipe. You know, it's not, even when it's vibrating, it's not going to hit this. And it should allow plenty of room for the shackle to swing up here without hitting it. So I'm gonna burn that thing in and then we'll move on to the front. Yeah, tailpipe extension is welded in. Well, that means we're done with the rear, except I'm gonna have to remember to tighten everything once I get it back on the ground. So let's move up to the front. All right, I had to set the weight of the truck down on these jack stands on the A-arms to get the struts to compress enough to get that upper ball joint nut started. Otherwise, assembly was pretty easy. It's just that that spacer kind of stretches the limit of all the factory stuff. So I just couldn't pry it up enough into place without using the weight of the truck to push everything up there. But now that we got that started, I can cinch that down, put it back up on the lift, and tighten everything down. And because I am certain that the internet will accuse me of not using a torque wrench, I don't show it. There we go. All right, that is it. We're done with the lift. Pretty easy install. Probably got about 2 hours into it. Would have been a little faster if I didn't have to do that exhaust pipe extension, but obviously this wasn't a complicated suspension system. We're just talking about some strut spacers and some shackles. So really though, for 150 bucks, not a bad way to gain a couple extra inches of ground clearance. So that does it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed watching. I'll be taking the truck into the alignment shop to adjust the alignment following the lift. And I've got another video planned. I'll be installing an inverter and a couple other things to get it ready to go for a trip that I'm going to be taking the truck on. So here in about a month, we'll be going on the Zuki World Fall Classic trip. That's a trip I've in the past always taken my Sidekick on. Obviously I sold that, I don't have it anymore, so the Nissan gets to go on the trip this year. So it's basically 4 days, 3 nights of winter snow camping out in Central Oregon. I'll definitely take the cameras along and take you guys along with that. So stay tuned, there's more videos to come with the truck. Thanks.